Level 0. The silent start. The tsunami nobody notices. Somewhere under the sea, the floor cracks. An earthquake below, magnitude 6.5, shudders through the crust. On land, it might rattle a few dishes. At sea, it does almost nothing. Almost. The quake nudges the water above it, and a wave rolls out across the open ocean. But out here, in deep water, that wave is only a few centimeters tall and hundreds of kilometers long. A ship could sail straight over it, and the crew would never feel a thing. It is not nothing, though. Pressure sensors bolted to the seafloor catch it. Buoys floating above them relay it to shore. Satellites overhead measure the faint bulge from space. The ocean is already talking. We just cannot feel it yet. Here is the unsettling part. A quiet quake like this is sometimes the warning shot. It can shift a fault or loosen an underwater slope, quietly loading the setup for something far bigger later. So level 0 is not a tsunami you survive. It is one you never knew happened. Quick thing before we go deeper. If you are into this, subscribe, like, and drop a comment. It genuinely helps the channel, because one level up, the water finally reaches the shore. Level 1, the local wave. The one that arrives before the warning does. Now the quake is bigger, somewhere around magnitude 7, and it strikes close to shore in shallow water. This time the seafloor does not just shake, it lifts, shoving a real wall of water toward the nearest coast. The wave is not tall by tsunami standards, maybe a few meters, but it does not need to be tall. It needs to be close, and it needs to be fast. And here, the coast is so close that people may have only minutes before it lands. Often the only warning is the sea itself. The water pulls back from the beach, exposing reef and sand that nobody has ever seen dry. Curious people walk out to look. That is the mistake. In 2006, a magnitude 7.7 quake off Java sent waves around 6 meters high into crowded tourist beaches with almost no warning. Hundreds of people did not make it off the sand. This is where a tsunami stops being a number on a seismograph. Level 1 is small, local, and already deadly, and the next one does not stop at one coast. Level 2, the regional strike. When one wave threatens a whole region, the quake climbs into the high 7S now, and it tears open a longer stretch of sea floor. That means more water displaced, and waves thrown out in several directions at once. Whole coastlines hundreds of kilometers apart go on alert from a single quake. At this level, the waves can stand 10 meters tall. That is a 3-story building of seawater moving at the speed of a car on the highway. It does not wash over a town. It removes it. Roads, power lines, homes, all of it. In 2001, a magnitude 8.4 quake off Peru launched a tsunami that did not stop at Peru. It crossed more than 1,000 kilometers of ocean and struck Chile as well. 2 countries, 1 wave, and these never arrive just once. The first wave is often the smallest. More follow, sometimes hours apart, timed perfectly to catch the rescuers who came to help. The danger does not end when the water pulls back. That first retreat of the sea is not the end of the show. It is the intermission. Level 2 draws a circle around a whole region. The next level erases the circle because it crosses the entire ocean. Level 3, the ocean crosser, a wave that outruns a jet at magnitude 8 and up. The rupture is so large it moves a continental volume of water in seconds. And in deep water, that energy travels at a speed almost nobody expects, up to 800 kilometers per hour, as fast as a passenger jet. That is the terrifying trick of a big tsunami. In the open ocean, it is only a low, fast swell you would never notice from a boat, but as it reaches shallow coastline, it slows down, stacks up, and rears into a wall. You could be standing on a sunny beach thousands of kilometers from any earthquake, having felt nothing at all. Hours later, the sea drains out, then comes back as a wall of water. In 1946, a quake near the Aleutian Islands sent a tsunami racing across the Pacific to Hawaii, more than 3,000 kilometers away. It hit high-low with water over 50 feet high and killed more than 150 people, most of whom never knew it was coming. That single disaster is the reason the Pacific Tsunami Warning System exists at all today. A level 3 tsunami turns distance into a weapon. It gives you an ocean of warning and no way to feel it. And the next level is the one the whole planet remembers. Level 4, the Megathrust, the magnitude 9 that rewrites a coastline. This is the top of the earthquake scale, magnitude 9 and above, the most powerful ruptures ever recorded. When one lets go, it does not tear open a stretch of sea floor. It tears open a country's worth of it. December 2004, a magnitude 9.1 quake ripped more than 1,300 kilometers of the Indian Ocean floor. The tsunami that followed struck 14 countries and killed more than 227,000 people. The waves reached the coast of Africa, and the energy circled the entire planet. Then March 2011, a magnitude 9 off the coast of Japan. Waves up to 40 meters, pushing 10 kilometers inland, flattening whole towns. And when they hit the Fukushima nuclear plant, they knocked out its cooling and started a meltdown that outlived the wave by decades. The quake was so violent, it shoved the main island of Japan more than 2 meters to the east and nudged the entire planet on its axis. At this level, a tsunami is not measured in height or speed. It is measured in generations. Coastlines are redrawn. Farmland turns to salt. Even the best warning systems can only tell you it is coming, not save what it takes. But every wave so far was made by shaking. The next one is made by something falling. Level 5, the landslide wave. The tallest wave the Earth has ever produced. Forget spreading across oceans. This is the opposite. All the energy is dumped into one small place at once. When a mountainside collapses straight into the water, the displaced water has nowhere to spread, so it does the only thing left. It goes up. On the 9th of July, 1958, an earthquake shook loose the slope above Lituya Bay, a narrow fjord in Alaska. Around 90 million tons of rock dropped nearly a kilometer straight into the water below. What came back up is almost impossible to picture. A wall of water and debris surged up the opposite slope to a height of 524 meters. That is taller than the Empire State Building. It stripped the mountainsides bare, snapping full-grown forests off like matchsticks. It remains the tallest wave ever recorded on Earth by a factor of 10 over any ocean tsunami, and yet it killed only 5 people because that fjord was almost empty. Put that same wave anywhere near a city and the number does not bear thinking about. The only thing that saved us in 1958 was that almost nobody lived there. Level 5 is nature's tallest wave, but it is still just rock and water. The last level is where the scale stops making sense. Level 6, the Mega-Tsunami, the wave that has no modern witness. Every level so far has happened. This one mostly has not, at least not while anyone was watching. A true Mega-Tsunami is what happens when the trigger is not a quake or a rockfall, but something on a planetary scale. A volcanic island collapsing into the sea, an asteroid striking the ocean. The famous fear is a volcano in the Canary Islands, whose western flank some argued could one day slide into the Atlantic and send a wave toward the Americas. It makes for a terrifying headline. It is also, most geologists now think, badly overstated. The collapse would more likely happen in pieces, not one clean slab, and the ocean-crossing wall of water probably would not form. But the real record is written in the rocks. 66 million years ago, the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs struck a shallow sea and threw up a wave that may have topped a kilometer at the source, sloshing across an entire ocean basin. We know because it left its fingerprint in the seabed halfway across the world. That is the ceiling. A wave measured not in stories or city blocks, but in the shape it leaves on the planet long after everyone who saw it is gone. So here is a question for you. Out of all 6 levels, which is the only one that has never been measured happening in modern history? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me which force of nature I should climb next. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.